Before I begin, I want you guys to think about the last time you bought a chocolate bar or any type of chocolate candy. Odds are you probably bought candy from Hershey's, Nestle, or Mars. I would also bet that when you did buy that piece of candy, you didn't really stop and think, hey, where did this chocolate come from? You were probably distracted by all the bright and colorful packaging at the gas station you were at or the grocery store. And I don't blame you, but I'm here to educate you, so I'll start. A survey of African cocoa farms was done in 2013 by Tulane University, and they found that over 1.8 million children in West Africa work in the growth and production of cocoa beans. The fact is that most chocolate candy in the US uses cocoa coming from these West African cocoa farms. In my speech today, I'll be discussing how companies like Hershey's, Mars, and Nestle are carelessly allowing child labor to continue in these developing nations just so that they can save money. Then I'll discuss the ideal solutions to this problem, and I'll talk about what we can all do to force this change to happen. According to the World Cocoa Foundation, Africa has been and is projected to remain the principal cocoa producer of the world with a 70% market share. So that means that they produce 70% of all of the cocoa in the world. These children in Africa, 1.8 million children to remind you, are working in terrible conditions on these farms all day instead of one, getting to enjoy their childhood, and two, being able to get an education. In an article I found in the Washington Post by Peter Horisky and Rachel Siegel, these authors interviewed adult farmers and child laborers in West Africa. They found that the average wage for a child on one of these cocoa farms is $9 a week. To put this into perspective, the minimum wage in Missouri is $9.45 per hour. This is an insane difference in wealth, and it causes kids like this to be stuck in poverty for their entire lives. So now that I've told you about the problem, what can we do to solve it? Well, we have to show candy companies that we don't support their business practices, and the best way to do this is to not give them any of our money. According to the Washington Post article that I referenced earlier, Mars can trace 24% of its cocoa back to these farms. Nestle can trace 49% of their cocoa back, and Hershey's can trace a little bit less than 50% of their cocoa back to these farms. These numbers are way too high, and they're going to continue to stay high if people still buy their candy. Hershey's, Mars, and Nestle have all made commitments on separate occasions to end their use of this cocoa from child laboring farms, and they've missed deadlines continuously. From what I understand, farmers in Africa use inexpensive child labor because they get underpaid for cocoa by these large companies. If Mars, Hershey's, and Nestle paid fair prices for cocoa beans, this would greatly decrease the likelihood of farmers employing children. I know it's difficult not to eat your favorite candies like M&Ms, Kit Kats, and Butterfingers, but I decided to do the research for you to find some really tasty alternatives. So according to a website called Fair Trade, some brands that you can buy to get your chocolate fix guilt-free are Target brand candy, Whole Foods brand candy, and Trader Joe's brand candy. I try to only buy chocolate that's Fair Trade certified. And what Fair Trade is it's an organization that examines and regulates companies' labor and agricultural sources. If a company meets their Fair Trade standards, the company will get a stamp to put on their packaging that means that they're Fair Trade certified. So, in summary, large candy companies have been supporting and perpetuating child labor in West Africa for quite a long time, and the only way that they'll stop is if we as consumers show our disapproval. I'm definitely not trying to tell you to stop eating chocolate altogether. I'm just saying that we should all find some sources to get our chocolate fix in the future that are Fair Trade certified. I'm going to put a Fair Trade logo in my video right here, just so you guys know what to look for. And yeah, I hope that you guys all find some new chocolate to try. Thanks. Editing Mallory here. I just wanted to put these in here to show you some of my favorite chocolate things that I found. This first one's at Target, the other one's at Trader Joe's, and the last one is at Whole Foods and Fresh Thyme. And I also wanted to let you guys know that I'm going to put Fair Trade's website in the description of this video if you wanted to find out more about that organization.